She finally opened my messages. She finally opened my messages, the ones I had sent like letters cast into the ocean, each word trembling with the hope that someday her eyes would find them, someday her heart would listen, someday her silence would soften into recognition. For nights that became years inside my chest, I kept pressing send, like prayers whispered into the wind, like stars thrown against the dark sky, waiting for one light to fall back down into my hands. And today, she opened them, and the earth shook inside my ribs. It was not just a screen that lit up, it was my soul, burning brighter than cities under dawn. It was not just blue ticks that appeared, but the confirmation that maybe, just maybe, my voice had not been lost in the void. My longing had not been useless. My devotion had not been erased. She finally opened my messages, and I wanted to tell her everything again, as if the words she now read were too small, as if my heartbeat had written more verses in the spaces between her silences. I wanted to tell her how many nights I sat awake, my phone in hand, staring at her profile picture, as if it were a window to a world where she still cared. I wanted to confess how many mornings I carried her name, like a secret prayer upon my lips, whispering it into coffee steam, scribbling it on notepads during endless hours, breathing it into the lonely echo of my room, just to feel that I was not entirely forgotten. She finally opened my messages, and the weight of waiting crumbled like ancient walls of grief. I remembered the first time I wrote to her, my fingers hesitant, my heart too loud, my mind too soft to resist the temptation of reaching out. I remember the scene that never came, the silence that was louder than thunder, the ache that built towers in my chest and crumbled them with every unanswered day. But today, in the quiet scrolling of her eyes, I imagine her finally touching my words, letting them seep into her bloodstream, like slow rain into thirsty soil. Did she smile? Did she frown? Did her heart tremble like mine? I don't know. And yet, the not knowing feels like victory, because for the first time, my love is not just a ghost knocking on closed doors. She opened them. She finally opened my messages, and I thought of all the metaphors I ever wrote, all the poems I crafted in her absence, all the sighs I sent into notebooks, like folded paper boats that no river carried to her shore. And suddenly, they were alive again. Suddenly they were valid. Suddenly, I was not foolish for believing in the persistence of love. I remembered the nights I almost deleted them, the messages sitting there like fragile glass, each one a shard of my vulnerability. I thought of pressing erase, of protecting myself from the humiliation of unread truths. But my stubborn hope said no. My reckless love whispered, stay. And so I left them there, like flowers left at a door that never opened. Now, after what felt like centuries, the door creaked, the knob turned, the silence broke. She finally opened my messages, and my soul wanted to run barefoot through every street of memory, screaming with laughter and tears, telling the world that patience was not a wasted seed. For even if she never replies, even if her lips remain sealed, and her hands never type back, I still want something priceless. The knowledge that my love was not entirely invisible. What is love, if not madness? What is devotion, if not persistence? In the face of unbearable silence, I was the fool who believed in echoes. But today, I am the poet whose echo was finally heard. She finally opened my messages, and I thought of the first day I met her, the way her laughter bent the air, the way her eyes carried entire oceans, with storms and calm hidden inside. I thought of how every message I sent was only an extension of that first spark, a firework I could not put out. And maybe she never answered, because the timing was cruel, because her heart was elsewhere, because life built walls between us, thicker than words could climb. But today, Those walls had a crack. She let my words through. I don't know if she read them slowly, savoring the pain, or if she scrolled past them quickly, like one skims through a forgotten diary. But somewhere in her gaze, my sentences lived. Somewhere in her breath, my love was acknowledged. And that alone made the years of waiting feel like chapters leading here. She finally opened my messages, and in that moment, I forgave the universe for its cruelty. I forgave the silence that almost broke me. I forgave her for every second she did not see me. Because now she did. Now she knows. Now she cannot unknow. And maybe tomorrow, she will respond with just a single word, or maybe never. But my heart has already won. For in love, sometimes victory is not possession, but recognition. So I will keep this memory like a jewel hidden in my chest. The day she finally opened my messages, the day my words found her eyes, the day my love reached her hands, and if I die tomorrow, I will go knowing that silence did not bury me entirely. She saw me. She finally saw me. She finally opened my messages, and in that moment, the world was mine. She finally opened my messages. And as the thought kept echoing in me, I realized how many years of silence had shaped the bones of my heart. The silence had been my companion, my rival, my tormentor. I had grown used to it, like one grows used to winter, layering themselves in blankets of hope, while the cold keeps biting. But today, something thawed. A small fire entered the frozen world. She touched my words, and even if for a second, she stepped into the world I had been living in for so long. Do you know what it means to wait? To wait not for a reply, not for a gift, not even for forgiveness, but for a glance, for a recognition, for proof that your love has a witness. I learned the art of waiting from her silence. I learned how to build shrines in emptiness. Every unread message was a tombstone, and yet I visited them daily, whispering my devotion to those ghosts of words. And now, suddenly, the tombstones opened, the graves breathed, the ghosts rose, and my words were alive again. I don't know if she opened them out of curiosity, or boredom, or accident. Maybe her finger slipped, and the messages lit up, without her intention. Maybe she was searching for something else, and stumbled upon me, like one stumbles upon an old letter in a drawer, yellowed by time. But no matter how it happened, it happened. And sometimes in love, reasons matter less than moments. I thought about her eyes moving across the sentences I had built. Did she pause when she read the line where I told her she was my sunrise after endless nights? Did her lips curl into a secret smile when she saw how many times I called her by name, like a prayer, like a song? Did she feel a small sting of guilt for never answering, or did she simply let the words wash over her, cool and harmless? Oh, but even the idea that my words touched her eyes fills me with storms of gratitude. I imagine her lying in bed, phone in hand, the screen glowing softly against her face, her lashes brushing shadows over her cheeks, her breath steady as she scrolled. And there, in the middle of all her other notifications, all her other conversations, all the chaos of her life, there was me.